Welcome back to Python MC. In this section, we're going to do range functions in EarSketch. So we've got a couple lists of beats. We've seen this before. In this case, actually, we're just going to use two beats. Hip Hop Bass Hub 007, Hip Hop Dusty Groove 001. And we're going to create a function with 5 parameters. So it's going to be clip, track, start and measure, interval, and stop. Okay, so normally in insert media, you just have clip, track, and start. But we're going to use a range function. And basically it's so we can take the same track and sort of drop it in, insert it at different intervals, so like at different time intervals. So in this case, we'll drop it in, let's say at measure 1, then measure 4, then 6, whatever we want to do. And so then you have to tell it where to stop. So basically what's going to be the end measure. So in this case, we're going to go for start in range, and then start measure, stop, interval. So this is just a range function. You're telling it where to start, where to stop, and how much to skip. And then we're going to insert media, clip, track, start. We've seen that a million times before. And then when we call this new function we've created, we're going to tell it which beat, so which clip, which track to start it on, so track equals 1, start measure equals 1, interval equals 4. So that's going to wait 4 measures before inserting again, and it's going to stop at the 16th measure. So beyond 16, it's not going to insert media. So you're going to just see it's going to loop around. It's just going to insert beat 1 at sort of 4 measure intervals, starting at 1, skipping 4, inserting it again. So you can see how this works. It starts at 1, it inserts that beat, then it skips all these other measures, and then it inserts it again at measure 5, because it's going to start at 1, and it's going to skip 4, and it inserts it at 5, and it skips 4 again, inserts at 9, skips 4 again, inserts it at 13. Okay? So that's what the range function does in this case. It just allows you to insert a beat at different intervals on the track. Okay? So you can allow it to skip and then drop it in again. This is going to be really great when we get into sampling in the next section. All right, so let's see. We're just going to say, let's do insert media. Let's drop in the second beat. And we're still going to start on track 2, but the start measure is 3, and it's still going to skip. So let's see what that does. So what it does is, you see, remember all those gaps we had between beat 1? Now we're going to fill that gap with beat 2. So you can see you're dropping in 1 with an interval of 4. You'll see there's now kind of are inserted back to back. The first track is dropped in. Right behind it, the beat 2 is dropped in, then the first beat's dropped back in, and then beat 2 is dropped back in. So we're basically alternating between these 2 beats, getting this kind of interesting transition effect, this interesting little break. And so we can play around with this, and we could do this for lots of different functions, or lots of different phrases or musical ideas in the track. And we're definitely going to get into sampling later, where we show you how to do that. If we just take away that line 23, then you'll notice that it just inserts beat 2. So it's similar to what we did before, where we just inserted beat 1 and it skips 4. It's doing the same thing with beat 2. It's inserting it, skips 4, then inserts it again. Pretty straightforward. And when we combine the two, then you can see these are inserted back to back. That's it. We'll see you again on Python MC.